Hey, how you doing? Tony Wysinski, official editor of the podcast, Red Line Radio, and here he is, of course, a fresh, cooler, and tall, getting ready for opening day, Frankie Bergesay.
Hey, how you doing? I got the roller cooler now.
Oh, you've been rolling?
Yeah, decided it's not going to carry it around no more.
Well, it's helped with the slip disc in the back. I know it's a little problematic for you getting it out of the trunk, getting it up the driveway.
Very painful, but at the same time, I forget the pain when I'm enjoying myself over a few great tasting less fillings.
Always worth it. Always worth it for a cold one. Great tasting, less filling, 96 calories. Great tasting, less filling, Miller Lite. Whether you're cooking out, you're camping, you got the rooftop. But in this particular situation, we got the Bears Sunday night. Never a bad time to have a great tasting less filling.
Never a bad time. I'm excited. Going to be a great game, hopefully. But it'll be good regardless because we'll have the Miller Lite to accompany us. And it'll always be there. You know, if it's game time and I'm in a rush and I'm in a pinch, I know I'll always have Miller Lite.
I like drinking Miller Lite while watching the Bears because it's either a good situation, you want to have a couple more, or it's a bad situation, you want to have a couple more. In all respects, though, you're always reaching responsibly, having great tasting, less filling. So next time you're getting ready to enjoy some cold ones with your friends, go to MillerLite.com/redline to find delivery options near you.
Or you can pick up Miller Lite pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Hey, Joe. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Chicago sports fans. This is Carl.
And Dave.
It's Chief.
Eddie.
We got Big Cat in New York. This is Red Line Radio and All Gas No Break Chicago Sports Podcast, brought to you by Miller Lite, brought to you by Barstool Sports Chicago. We try to have Big Cat on when it makes sense, and there's like one annual show each year where it's mandatory to have Dan on with us, and it's right before the Bears season. Dan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm just going to be up front with it right now. If anyone here wants to be the optimist and change my mind, I am as low as I could possibly be right now.
Get ready because the guy next to you, he's been playing that role lately.
The optimist?
I've been trying to be the optimist, yeah.
You said the other day you woke up like thinking about axing Ryan Pace.
These are different conversations for me, guys. Like, Pace deserves to be fired. The roster construction's not good. That doesn't mean that you can have no hope and you can't look forward to the season at all. Eddie wants to go in a coma and wake up on January 1st.
I'm down with that.
No,
I
want to watch football.
Thank you.
We can do that come November.
Thank you.
All right. It's mostly because it's the Sunday night football thing. If the Bears were playing at 1 o'clock on Sunday, I'd feel a lot differently. I don't want to watch the Bears get embarrassed on Sunday night football, and I would say 95% of my body says that's what's going to happen.
Dude, I could see our offense being like -3 yards after like a quarter and a half.
Right. Yeah. I would love to be surprised. I'd love to be wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like, when we get to the kickoff and we see the Bears coming out, and I'll be pumped about that. But I think that we're not going to score more than 13 points. I think it's going to be very similar to the Sunday Night Football game against the Rams last year. Maybe it was Monday Night Football, or the Colts game, or even the playoff game against the Saints. It's just swap quarterbacks. Andy Dalton is now going to be playing, and he's going to be running an inept offense. And all I want to see is Justin Fields, and that's it.
I was just talking to Ed about this prior to us hopping into the recording studio. The line, as it sits right now, we're recording on Wednesday the 8th, is at 7.5. Take away all Bears fandom. Look at it in a vacuum. What are you guys all betting? We'll do a quick little round circle. Start with Big Cat. What are you betting?
Well, if you should bet the multiplier because that's just good odds.
1,000%.
So we have the Barstool Sportsbook under the exclusive, the multiplier bet, which we'll do a bunch. And actually, I'll give you a little background to this. So other sports books, you'll see them where they'll do like, if 1,000 people bet this, we move the line by a point, and then if another 1,000, we move the line by a point, and then eventually you get like the Rams plus 75 points. That's not betting. You know what I mean? Like, you're not betting.
Right.
It's not
You're
gambling.
you money.
It's not fun.
Yep.
So what we're doing is we're doing a multiplier where we've already, I think, reached it. It was $1,000 added to the payout. So if you bet Bears plus 7.5, $5, you get $50 if you win. So 10-1. So 10-1, but you still got to cover 7.5. So it's still gambling.
Yeah.
It's just a better payout.
Yep.
So you'd be stupid not to bet that. I actually love the under. I love the under at 46. I don't think that we can get to 14 points.
You are negative.
I'm very negative.
Oh,
I'm
Jesus.
very negative. I'm very negative. I hate Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy.
Dan,
Andy
where
Dalton,
you
nice
been?
guy.
Dan,
Yeah.
where you been? I've been getting killed on this show.
I've been here.
Killed on
I've
this
been
show.
here. I've been here. Andy Dalton, nice guy. Really nice guy. Super nice
He had
guy.
a great career, too.
I saw he fucking bought a house, too. What the hell? He bought a house in Lake Bluff. How long did they promise him QB1?
Maybe he's a real estate guy.
his
He's on to his next chapter of his life already.
Yeah.
Like,
He's,
listen,
he's a real estate investor.
I'm happy if he wants to live in Lake Bluff, but like, dude, did they give this guy like a 5-year guarantee that he's going to be playing starting quarterback for the Bears? I don't understand it.
Lake
Chicago's
Bluff's nice.
It is nice. No, again, if he wants to live there, that's nice. But it made me nervous because it's like he's
Why
like
isn't he
setting
renting
down
a place
roots.
in like the Trump Tower or something?
I think the easiest way for me to sum up my
hate.
hate for Nagy is it just seems like he has to be right. Like it has to be his offense, it has to be his decisions and all this stuff. It just he seems so fucking selfish.
I don't know. I keep going back to the interview with Han last week when I flat out asked him because he's a Bears fan, grew up in the area and everything. I'm like, should the Bears be starting Justin Fields week 1? He's like, honestly, now that I'm in the position of being a GM, I know that there's more than what the public knows going on behind the scenes that's factoring into their decisions. So I empathize with them, and I assume that they're doing what's best to win football games and what's best for the organization, what's best for his development, all that stuff. So that kind of made me think.
I think that. Go ahead.
Counterpoint to that, because we all as fans don't know what's going on inside those homes, right? Like we just don't, and that's part of being fans. It's part of having opinions on this stuff. Like we're not as informed as someone who's actually working there, but. If that is the case, that's fine. How they have gone about it makes no sense because they basically guaranteed Andy Dalton the QB1 job and have never deviated from it. And if you aren't running a competition for your starting quarterback position, I think that is so stupid and like no real organization operates that way. Everyone else, like you want to go down the list, like people will say, well, Patrick Mahomes said here, Alex Smith was 12-4. Oh, well, Aaron Rodgers said here, Brett Favre was Brett Favre.
Right.
Like, you brought in Andy Dalton, nice guy, really nice guy. He hasn't been good for years.
Yeah.
And like, that's the thing. If you had a 12-4 starter who was coming off a 12-4 year last year, I would feel totally different about this situation. I'd be like, you know what? Keep playing it. Keep playing the hot hand. Well, Justin Fields will have his time. That's not the situation.
And Alex Smith had jobs lined up after he left. Like people were knocking down his door to have Alex Smith come in. This is the end of the road for Andy Dalton. This is the last stop.
They went and so all right. So this is like I've thought about this way too much, and you can tell I'm passionate and angry about it. But there, because I've argued with people online, and I get a lot of people are saying different things. They'll say, well, Andy Dalton's just a stopgap, whatever it may be. My issue with it is they went and got Andy Dalton. They said he was QB1. If they were going to draft a quarterback, then they shouldn't have paid Andy Dalton what they paid him because they already have Nick Foles. So it's one or the other. It's either you terrible roster construction because you're paying 3 quarterbacks, or you got lucky and Justin Fields fell in your lap. And if you got lucky and Justin Fields fell in your lap, you shouldn't be applauded for that. You should be reprimanded for starting Andy Dalton.
It's almost like they're figuring it out as they go. It really is. I mean,
this goes back to last year, too.
He's like a shitty detective. He like rules out foul play right away to the media, and it's like, hey, buddy, let's do a fucking autopsy first. What are we doing? Like, let's see possible foul play.
But
this
goes
the
back
whole
to
thing
last year too, though. They traded picks for fucking their third string quarterback. They're paying him a lot of money. You know?
They can't get rid of him now.
Or the
He's
thing with
immovable.
Jimmy Graham. The thing with Jimmy Graham where they just like, oh, well, how about today we'll convert his thing to a signing bonus and clear up all this cap space. You could have used that the entire offseason. Maybe if you have a better roster construction, you have Kyle Fuller. You have an extra a left tackle who can actually play and not Jason Peters who's 39 years old. So that's where I'm kind of done with Pace. I do have, because I am an optimist by nature, just a shred with Nagy that if he has the right trigger man, meaning Justin Fields, maybe things run a little bit more smoothly.
Here's my biggest issue, and people will say, well, why are you just keep harping on this? Because I honestly think with the way this organization is run and Ted Phillips calling the shots, I think that Pace and Nagy have gotten the assurance that they're not going to be fired this year, which is crazy. That's crazy to me.
Does anyone know the status of their contracts? I feel like that's just not even out there.
I think didn't they get
one?
renewed?
I thought it was 1 year. I thought they got renewed for a year, right?
Right. So
I have no idea.
It's so coy about everything when it comes to that, so it's hard to tell.
You know all about that.
And to me, starting Andy Dalton means that I think that they're safe, because they wouldn't start Andy Dalton if they weren't safe. Like, they would start Justin Fields and be like, hey, we got to start building this with Justin Fields.
Or they could start Dalton and then use that as the excuse for managing Justin Fields, where like it could be Nagy being like, hey, my best bet for self-preservation here is so it's a combo of that too. So I'm not trying to say it's different.
No, you're
it's
right.
a little
You're
different,
right.
but I think Nagy could be on his own talking to his wife at the end of the night being like, hey, I got an idea that'll make me look okay if shit goes south. We'll start Dalton and then...
Yeah, it's a great point, because it actually is like it's one of the two situations here. Either they've been assured they get a year free and that they're going to be here next year, which is stupid because you shouldn't do that because they haven't proven themselves, or they are now just in self-preservation mode, which is very, very frustrating as a fan to watch them try to save their job instead of put the best product out there and have Justin Fields play. And that's so I just keep talking myself into like. I'm like the Tasmanian devil. Like, when I start talking about the Bears, I just start fucking winding up and getting so mad about it.
The thing that drives me crazy about Pace too is just like the roster construction aside. How many coaches now? 3?
3 coaches, 5 quarterbacks.
So
Justin Fields is his 5th quarterback.
He's had 7 drafts. We're staring down a barrel of a decade soon here.
Yeah,
it's
That's
crazy.
fucking crazy.
And in all the time we've talked about the Bears so far, no one's talked about the division. Like, we can't even talk about them relative to who they have to go out and compete against. Like, it's all just, we just live in this world with the Bears where things just suck. If you were like, hey, here's what the Vikings look like, it'd be a waste of time right now.
Yeah.
Right? No, that's
sure, but that
awesomely
when you
said.
start bringing in the Lions and the Vikings, that's when I think you can start getting a little bit of the positive juices flowing. Because I don't think those teams are that good either.
Yeah, but the Packers are going to fucking kick our ass.
I didn't even want to say it. Probably Rodgers is going to go on a fucking warpath this season. Like 50 touchdowns, 5 picks.
Yeah.
And
This
here's
is now
the
like
thing, too.
snuff film for Packers fans. There's probably going to be more Packers fans that listen to this podcast than Bears fans, because it's
beating
like,
their dicks to
they
it.
just love hearing us talk.
Jesus, Dave.
I mean,
Let's take a break real quick to talk about our friends over at Innovative Care. Dave, I know you can't recommend innovativeadd.com enough, especially ADHD medication, total headache, time to switch.
yeah, it's so. I like to be as efficient with my time as possible because time is a valuable commodity to me personally. Like, I don't have enough hours in the day to get everything I want to get accomplished in that day done. And whenever I want to go pick up medication, it takes time out of my day. It's a pain in the ass. You got to go sit at Walgreens. You got to go sit wherever, urgent care, blah, blah, blah. It takes up hours, and it's hours that I don't have. So what I started doing is I went to innovativeadd.com, signed up. I am personally a resident of Illinois, which you have to be, and they take insurance. We got great health insurance at barstoolsports.com, and they do accept that at Innovative, and it's a nice, painless, easy, efficient way to get your medication refills done from the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to say it's a real medical clinic, like we've been saying, and they do take that insurance. So that's something I'm sure everyone already wants to know. Got to be an Illinois resident, like Dave said. And the thing I like about them, I got a COVID test there before. They're just compassionate, they're kind, and it's just a very straightforward process.
Takes all the frustration out, too, when you're dealing with good people like that.
Yep.
So if you're a resident of Illinois, I can't recommend innovativeadd.com enough. They'll take your insurance. They'll serve you with compassion. They'll make it as easy as possible for you to get your ADHD medication, not just the first time, but every time you got to refill the prescription. Go to innovativeadd.com to check it out. Let's jump back into it.
The problem is, too, and I don't know if you guys saw it, local radio guy Parkins, what he tweeted, he got absolutely killed for it. Did you guys see that by chance?
Oh, yeah, he said he's rooting against the Bears, right?
Yes, he said, I'm rooting for the Rams. I resent that the Bears have put me in this position. It's in the best interest of the team, short term and long term, to see what they have in Fields. They say the decision is tied to results with Dalton. Therefore, go Rams, Bengals, Browns, etc.
It's extreme, but not like...
It's extreme, but here's the point, though.
wrong.
Here's a point that he makes, and like in a
Eddie
sense,
Ghost wrote
like
that for him.
what'd you say?
I feel like you ghost wrote that tweet for him.
No. Listen. In a sense, like, everybody in this room kind of put us in this spot with, like, the extra playoff spot, rooting for that Saints Nickelodeon game. That hurt us long term. And that, like...
Yeah. No, you're right.
Like, that's
You're
a mind
right.
fuck.
Are you convinced that if, let's say, they drop 2 of their last 3 instead of going on that little win streak at the end to put them in the playoffs, do you think they would have been fired then?
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
They would have lost, like, 8 straight or something, right? It would have been crazy.
I think they would
Yeah,
have
they
been
started
gone.
5-1.
Yeah. So if they went, because what they finished 8-8, right?
Nah.
8-8
Yeah,
and 8-9.
Yeah. That's
So
right.
if they had finished 7-9 last year, as opposed to 8-8, and they missed the playoffs, I'm not convinced that Ted Phillips is going to pull the plug on those guys. I'm just not. Like I think that they are always going to get another year. Because I don't think he wanted to fire Nagy, and Nagy could just be like, well, I didn't draft Mitch, and Pace. If you fire Pace, then whoever comes in is going to want his own head coach. So then it's just like, well, let's just keep everybody.
Yeah,
warm.
but you know, we've talked
Just
about it
sell the
before with the
team.
Cubs. You know how these guys look at it. Like, they count that Rockies playoff game, the Cubs, as a playoff
Yeah.
appearance. And
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Bears
Yes.
do that shit too, very much so.
No, I said it a couple weeks ago on Pardon My Take because PFT was like, but the Bears made the playoffs. No, they invented a playoff game so that we can get embarrassed on Nickelodeon. That's what they did.
Yeah.
That is exactly what they did. We fell for the trap. All right, I hate being this pessimistic guy because they've just put me in such a funk, so I'll be positive for a second. Everything that I've said up until this point doesn't matter if Justin Fields is good. And that's cool. That part of the season I'm very
That's
excited
it.
for. If Justin
That's all
Fields
that fucking matters.
plays, if he plays and plays well, everything I just said, just throw it out. I don't care. It's all about him. It really is. This season is all about him. They could win 4 games and he could look great, and I'd be like, guess what? We got our guy. Let's fucking go forward.
So let me ask you guys this: 4 Cubs fans. There's 4 of you guys. Yeah, 4 of you guys. So when back in 2014, when Javi was getting called up, Rizzo, those guys, were you guys still? I was like, when the Sox were going through their rebuild, I was just rooting for individual performance for guys that I knew were there long term. That's all that I'm going to be doing with the Bears, hoping that Monty goes off for 100 yards a game. If they lose and get their fucking dick stomped.
But they're not
Fields
really in a
comes
position to do
You
that.
can't.
Yet, though.
They're not in that spot.
If Fields comes in and throws 3 touchdowns, 300 yards, and looks
Khalil
fucking
Mack
good,
is 30 years old.
I
I
don't
mean, like,
give a shit.
Yeah,
You
but
have to.
But like prospect wise, like a lot of our defense is on the wrong side of 30.
Oh, yeah.
Allen Robinson is on a
His last
one
year.
deal.
with the
Yeah.
fucking franchise tag.
I was going to call it qualifying offer.
Yeah, like there's not even like we are built, and look at our money too. We just kicked the can down the road with the
Right.
$4.6 million to Jimmy Graham. Like we're paying a team that's like ready to fucking win a Super Bowl, and that's what like people like gotta see.
Yeah.
Yeah, to answer your question, Dave, I think that you can't compare baseball and football, but I do remember that 2014 team. Carl, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like that second half, they played good 500 baseball, and we started to get excited. Remember that? Like they weren't a good team, but they started to turn a corner where
Show
they
the
weren't
flashes.
a 100-loss team anymore. And like they start like 500 baseball meant something, and they were starting to win a couple series. And I remember being like, okay, I can see it coming. We're on the other end of that mountain with this team, where it's like they're like you guys just said, like other side of 30 with a lot of the defense. I think the defense will take a step back. I think they're going to miss Kyle Fuller. I have a problem in football. You actually kind of saw it with LSU against UCLA, where they're like, all right, well, we got the guy behind the guy with Joe Brady. Like, we got Joe Brady's assistant. He's calling plays now. Like, Sean Desai, like, somewhat loosely related to Vic Fangio here. Like, he'll be good. Just because he was in the room with someone who's really good at his job doesn't mean he's good at his job.
Yeah.
So I'm just cautiously like, all right, let's see it. Hopefully it works. But I'm not going to say that he's great just because he was with Vic Fangio. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only thing I would say to that is Roquan kind of, got me a little gassed up about Desai.
Okay, so good. I need that. I need every positive. Like, I need people to just tweet me positive things and positive tidbits, because it just doesn't feel.
Roquan made it sound like last year it was like a substitute teacher, and this year, like, where you don't really have to show up on time, you don't have to, he kept saying attention to detail, and he's like, it's a lot more like how it was under Vic Fangio.
That's awesome. Honestly, if we were, I really do think that this Sunday night football thing is in my head more than it should be, because I'm just waiting for a national embarrassment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we're playing at a different time, I'd feel so much differently. I really do think they're going to look really bad against the Rams defense.
Well, at least we know at this time we're not out in New York doing a live stream like here we're going to beat the Packers. The division belongs to us now. Like we're kind of at least emotionally steady here in how bad it's going to be.
Eddie had $25,000 handcuffed to him.
Remember? I don't know if any of you guys were there. I think a couple of you might have been there. And I think it was 2013. All my years, by the way, have completely lost on me because that's what kids.
Because we're old.
14 maybe, Tressman's second year, it might have been first year when he had to win 2 games at the end of the season, and we did a watch party in Wrigleyville for the Eagles-Bears Sunday night football game, and they lost like 70-7.
Yeah, it was against the Eagles.
Yeah. We never cheered.
I was there. Dan,
that was one of the first times we were all together, I thought.
Yeah.
I want to say that was the first time I ever met you in person, and there were so many people talking about how you were a black dude that I thought you were going to be a black dude. And I'm like, he's just a normal-looking white guy. What the fuck is this?
That is
that was at State,
That is
right?
true.
That is true. It was at Rebel.
It's because I posted the Bangs video, the High Haters video. But Rebel, it's no longer there. What is Rebel? No, that's Country Club now.
Country
Club
Club
now. But that's my point. It's like at least we're not doing that. At least we're not doing a watch party to watch.
But like
the final score might be that bad though.
At the end of the day, like our mentions are going to be filled with like I can't believe you gave
mentions.
That's why we're Papadocking them right now.
We could be punching bags for a year. I mean, we're significantly more confident about like the next year than we were last year, right?
Like
what?
We're more confident about the future, not maybe this season, but just like where the Bears are headed with Justin Fields.
But here's the thing:
I just feel
they got him for 5 years if they want it.
No, you're not, Chief.
That comment from Ed, it just makes me feel like they've re-entered or never left the cycle, where when they didn't have any quarterback and it was Grossman and Orton and this and that, they had the killer defense. Well, it didn't work out. And then they had Cutler, and they had the Brandon Marshall years, and they were lighting it up, and then the defense fell off, so they sucked again. And then they, now they're back into the great defense, but they got Trubisky, and now maybe they'll have a great quarterback, but Mac is old, and Trevathan's gone, and who knows what they're going to have to pay Roquan. And that's the other thing. Like, Eddie Jackson makes a shit ton of money. He better be back to what he was. And the same, like they have so many guys.
Love your newfound balls, Chief.
He said he would.
You know what else who's really starting to piss me off, and it's not really his fault, but Pace in that contract he gave to Cohen. Cohen's on the PUP list. He's gone the first 6 weeks. Why are you paying and extending a gadget running back, a third down back?
Yeah.
To pay him big bucks to do fucking nothing. Like, what are you doing?
His whole thing is he's been trying to replicate New Orleans. And that's, remember it was like, oh, well, he's got Darren Sproles, and then we drafted Shaheen. It's like, oh, and he's got Jimmy Graham. Like, okay, well, neither of those guys are half of the guys you just mentioned. It's just, I really don't want to be this down. Liam's watching us right now. And
he's laughing at us.
He's laughing because it is bad. It just feels bleak. And again, Justin Fields could change all of that. That's why, not to put any pressure on him, he could change all of our lives forever.
It's just tough for you, Dan, because you already know what part of my take you're recording Sunday night after that game.
Yes, correct. Correct. Yeah, the Bears are dead.
That's why I was asking you guys what you guys would bet. Just take the multiplier away, what would you bet? And I think
under.
No.
Well, it's funny you say that.
You have to bet the 7.5 point spread one way or the other. What would you bet?
It's the Rams. I think the Rams might win by like 3 scores.
No, I'd still take 7.5.
No, Dan.
Yeah, I would. I think
it's going to be
you got
the
Bears
Stafford.
tinted goggles on. That doesn't count. Nobody with the brain would take the Bears to a 7.5.
That's like one
which
play,
is
though.
why I think that they're going to fucking win on Sunday night.
Yeah, we're going to
fade
what
the
you
public.
just said, Dave. What you just said is why you have to take the Bears 7.5. No one would take the Bears 7.5. Yeah. And if they somehow win on Sunday night, it's going to suck, but I'll be happy. I'll be excited. And it's going to suck because long term, that means Andy Dalton plays longer. But so we're stuck in this fucking.
And you know they're not going to win. They're going to lose a couple of stinkers to really bad teams.
I'm pretty sure that the Bears have basically put us in our own like Saw movie where we're just like we're locked up and we're trying to get out, and then if you do this, then you cut your arm off, and like. There's no way out. There's no way out. I never even saw the Saw movies. I think I did a good job explaining
That's it. That's the whole plot. That's the whole plot.
Big Saw fan.
Yeah.
You never saw the Saw movies?
I saw one in
No, I
theaters.
never
I'll
saw
never go
Saw
watch
movies.
them again.
Did you see Sean McVay's comment
No, what did he say?
about he's like we'd be naive not to prepare for Justin Fields. Like he can't believe that the Bears aren't going to run packages, at least packages, or maybe just outright start him.
Okay, so I've actually had this thought. Matt Nagy, don't like the guy. Nice guy personally, I think. Whatever. Never met him. He has shown that he will pull a guy. He pulled Mitch when he was 3-0 after one bad half. If the Bears come out and Andy Dalton throws 2 picks and they score 0 points in the first half, I think he could put him in.
He's also a gadget guy.
I think he could put Justin Fields in. I've had that thought. This might be wishful thinking, where I've now sold myself on Andy Dalton playing the bare minimum, which is literally one half of football. But I have had that thought.
It's like the old Florida State thing where you're suspended for a series.
Yeah, take your helmet for a series.
Right.
Well, you say that. I think Mike Norvell just changed the game on how everything works. You get a helmet penalty. I know it's not in the NFL. And they went to fucking Mackenzie Milton. They never took him off. Like,
Yes.
It's like actually fuck all training camp. This guy's better.
By the way, did you guys know this is totally aside? Did you know that the college football overtime rules changed?
No.
It's fucked.
You have to go for 2
in the
after
third
in the second
right?
now.
I thought it's been like that for a little while.
Thought it was
No,
in the
you
second
have
now.
you have to go. All right, can you look it up?
I got it, yeah.
I'm almost positive. Maybe I was getting trolled, but this actually like fucked me up because I was when the Florida State Notre Dame game was going on. You have to go for 2 in the second overtime, and then in the third overtime, you just trade 2-point conversions until someone doesn't get it.
Wait,
Really?
what? You're no more starting at the 25?
For the third overtime. Again, I might have been trolled, and this will be a very embarrassing part of the show.
No, I
Teams
thought
will be
I thought that
required
was
to run a
legit.
2-point conversion play after a touchdown when a game reaches the second overtime period. Previously, a 2-point attempt was required after the third overtime. Also, if the game reaches a third overtime, teams will run alternating 2-point plays.
Got it. So I was right.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Instead of starting the drive on the opponent's 25-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know why it
That's
just popped in my head.
crazy.
It's crazy. They did not make a big deal about this.
Do you think too many overs hit?
Yeah, probably.
Like,
No,
honestly.
it's like the
'Cause I saw it and I was
humanitarian
like, oh,
bowl
we're
in Boise,
fucked.
Idaho. That's
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
17-17 with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and then the final
game
score
ends
ends
up
up
45-42.
48-48.
Yeah.
Did they
Yeah,
put this
remember
in?
that?
47.
Remember the Texas A&M LSU game that was like 72-70?
Yeah.
Yeah, they dumped
Like-
Coach O already.
They need to. You know what? They need to put out like an Amber Alert on all of our phones. They need to say, "Hey, the overtime rules change in college football."
I mean, when did they do that? Coronavirus
I
Day,
don't
election
know.
night? That's crazy.
But
Who
that's
who
the
wields
whole-
that kind of power too? Like who's in
Right.
charge of that?
This article is from April 22nd.
And the
one
whole
that I
point
pulled
of
up.
having the ability to just like give us a message on our phone is relay important information.
That's
this
it.
is very important information.
I don't get push notifications for anything. I would opt into something like that.
Absolutely. That's crazy.
Can I say that too? I feel like we have to bring it up.
Amber Alerts?
Tough week for the podcast college football teams.
Why is that? Notre
Yeah.
Dame's undefeated.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
not
was
great.
bad.
UTSA's not a bad team. They'll finish top 3 conference USA. Illinois, big bounce back. The line moved from 13 to 9.5 on the road. Virginia, early game. Bielema bounce back. Big positive vibe guy. Dave got his ass kicked. White Sox Dave got his fucking
let's go to
shit
Dave.
pushed in.
Yeah.
That
By
was- it
Mel
was-
Tucker who.
That
Guest-
was
guest of the podcast.
Yeah.
first time I've been. All right, so let's try to do some math here. For 20 years, I've been to probably about 80 Northwestern games in my life. Call it 4 a year the last 20 years. And that was the first time I've ever walked out of the stadium. I didn't know what the score was until Sunday. When I looked, I was so disgusted. It was the most pathetic Northwestern football performance I have ever seen in my life, and they have thrown up a few stinkers over the years.
You left early, you said?
I left early. I left at
Okay.
in the third end of the third quarter.
Okay.
Get him, Chief.
I did go to a Northwestern Iowa 11 o'clock kick with you one time that you didn't speak for like 4 hours after.
Oh yeah, I swear to
that was
Christ,
like 2016.
I
or something.
swear to Christ. So I I was with a couple friends, college friends, and they were all Northwestern fans. They went home. They were so pissed off. I went to the parking lot. We were drinking, waiting for a couple former Northwestern players, JB, who you guys had met.
Yep.
He was so pissed off he left, but we hit a cooler behind his car where we were tailgating. So I just drank that with Dan Persa for an hour after in the third quarter. It was just me and him bitching about the team.
Former
This is the
quarterback.
name drop. Is this why you smoke crack?
I didn't smoke crack.
Did not smoke crack.
Okay.
Never smoked crack, but maybe
You're in a
maybe
dark
one of
place.
the-
Have you ever
Sounds like you're
smoked
in a
crack,
dark
Dan?
place.
I have never smoked crack.
Can we make a bet where if someone loses, they have to smoke crack and then Declan's
I don't
back?
think we can. For the Badgers, because we're going around the table, nothing really changed for me. When I was telling everyone before the season, I was excited. Like, you have to understand, when I said the Badgers were going to be good, I actually have like texts that I can show you of sending to people being like, I think they're going to be good. I think they'll lose by 10 to Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. Now it's like, I think they're going to be good. They'll probably go 9-2, lose to Iowa. You know, it is what it is.
Nothing changed? Because, I mean, the Graham Mertz, Jack Cohn thing.
Jack Cohn broke his foot, and you know that. You're trying to
Jack,
get me mad.
wait, Jack Cohn broke his foot. I didn't even know that. But Jack Cohn,
no,
I don't
that's
care
now.
what his stats were. He did not look good. I didn't think. Jack
What?
Cohn did not look good on Saturday or on Sunday.
What do we talk? What?
They said beforehand, Dave.
No, he broke
No,
his foot last
He
year.
broke his foot,
Oh,
and
okay.
that's why Mertz beat him out.
Yeah.
But you think the broken foot is why he didn't look good for
No,
throwing for
I didn't. I
350 and 4
thought
touchdowns.
he was playing on a broken foot. I didn't know. I wasn't thinking about last year, but
Okay.
I thought that Cohen. I know his stats were all good, but Notre Dame did not look like a top 10 team to me at all.
But I don't think it was Jack Cohn.
I mean,
I think it was the fact their defense kind of got gashed.
Their defense got gashed, and they can't block anybody.
Yeah.
They couldn't run the ball at all, that's the first time I want to say in like 8 years I feel like haven't been confident in a Brian Kelly running game. Like
Yeah.
they've always
Right.
been able. They just churn
Yeah.
out NFL
Linemen,
first round
like-
picks.
yeah. Every year.
And they looked terrible. But Jack Cohn was not the problem.
I wasn't
he
saying
looked
like
fucking
I
great.
did not. I thought that for as bad as Graham Mertz looked on Saturday, take stats out of it, I thought that like I could see why at least Wisconsin would have rather had Graham Mertz than Jack Cohn.
What are you talking about?
Not based on Saturday. I
Dave.
think it's
Well,
it's the
he had the two
potential.
late picks. There's a reason that they wanted Cohen or Mertz there and ahead of Cohen. There's a reason for that.
So I don't know because Jack Cohn broke his foot. That's the point that I was trying to make all week because people were giving me shit. If Jack Cohn doesn't break his foot, and Wisconsin picks Mertz over Cohn, and then this happens, you could say, oh, wow, they fucked that up. Jack Cohn broke his foot. If you start Graham Mertz and then the next year sit Graham Mertz, you've now fucked over your highest rated QB prospect ever. Not a really great message to send when you're trying to build, that position up and try to get, 4-star guys, which he is. So I do think the ceiling for Graham Mertz is higher than Jack Cohn, but Jack Cohn clearly is a better quarterback right now.
Yeah, I mean, I know you said stats aside, Dave, but 26 of 35 for 366, which is over 10 yards completion.
Ed, we
Or
were
maybe
talking about this. Give it to me.
4 touchdowns. And hold on. Like the thing that he was always like criticized for at Wisconsin was not being able to stretch a field. Deep balls look great. Like
Yeah, he did. He put it in a bucket a couple
Yeah.
times.
His third
Like,
touchdown pass was really good. The first one of Michael Mayer was like, what was Florida State doing? The second
Right.
one, the Notre Dame wide receiver made a good play on it. So,
Sure.
yeah.
But I mean, like that was Joe Wilkins. That was his only catch. Was the one you're talking about, the contested ball. But like the ball was still like that was one thing Ian Book always struggled with. Like he couldn't really throw that fade route at all. Like that was just not in the playbook. And they have guys who can go get it. And if Jack Cohn just like kind of puts it up there like that, they're gonna score a lot of points.
Well, the good news is we get to see it in a couple weeks. We'll be there. College football show will be at
Soldier
Soldier
Field.
Field. Yeah, and I think we're going to be doing a Bears-Browns thing the next day with everyone. So I don't know if you guys have heard that.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, so that will be awesome.
I thought nobody wants to know how many college football shows there's going to be. So, my apologies.
Here. Like okay. And
Wait, somebody defend Brian Kelly, by the way. That was the most awkward fucking thing I've
Yes.
ever seen.
Yeah.
people
you can't
calling for his
defend-
resignation and
Well,
shit.
that's
Get the
too much. I
fuck
mean, you
out of
just
my
That's
rip on the
insane.
guy for being a loser.
You should you should make fun of him for trying to set up his own joke,
Right.
not for what actually was said. Like, trying to set up your own joke is a loser move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He basically tried to lob it to himself. Like, just whistle him for fucking travel and let's go the other way. It was stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, not a great joke. Not a great joke. And, like, him, of all people, can't make the joke.
Yeah,
about,
right.
That's,
you know? And
yeah.
that's
Why?
why... No comment. That's why people freaked out. But I think any other coach in America makes that joke and it like doesn't even make a blip on the radar. But Kelly says it carries a little bit different weight.
I think if Saban makes that joke, they probably send some, like the National Guard just to make sure.
I think Saban probably controls the National Guard.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But like they just want to make they maybe pop in like what is it DSS? Is that the Child Services?
DCFS.
Hey, congratulations to you as a dad not knowing it.
Yeah,
like your
there we
kids
go.
are safe.
Don't need that. Yeah, they just pop in, just a random pop in to be like, hey, coach, your player's still alive?
Yeah,
I might do that for Saban.
yeah, but they didn't look good, which is his point.
What were you gonna say about the college football shows?
I was just giving you. I mean, it was more show. I don't know if you watched the Portnoy show, but when I asked him that, he was like, "Who gives?" Like he he was Krabby Dave last episode, so that was my.
What did he say? I did not see it.
I was like, "Oh, how many is there going to be?" Like he's like, "Well, why?" He's just like, "Why does what kind of question is that? Why would anyone care?" I was like, "Well, I think people, if you're coming to their campus, people would like to go to the show. I think
Yeah.
you'd like fans there, right? I don't know. It was just more show.
So did he answer?
No, he said like 5 or 6 maybe. I don't know.
I think it is 5 or 6. I think it's 5 or 6. I think we're going.
Committed to the Vols, though.
Yeah, I'll give it. It's not even a secret, but we are going to only states that we are legal in.
That's
So
good business.
Yeah, that's the reasoning behind going to Michigan for Michigan Washington this weekend, going to Chicago for Wisconsin Notre Dame. I've already said that we will be in Knoxville at some point, so you can probably do the math on where the other college football show locations will be.
Any plans to do a D3 show just to like spread it out a little bit?
Hey, North Central, man.
Dude, we had what the fuck
Defending
is that?
national champions.
There's some D3 game in New York. I don't fucking know what it is, but I know that we were going to try to do it like 2 years ago. Wherever Mankind went to college.
Was
It's a
that
weird thing?
the
to
Is
say.
wrestler?
that the Wesley versus
Dude Love?
Williams versus Amherst? That
No,
game?
no.
Lafayette?
Where did Mankind go to college? This is a fucking crazy
This is-
sentence to say.
Did Mankind went to college?
What's Mankind's real name?
I
Foley.
remember it because we were trying to get him to be a guest picker, and he was going to do it. And then something fell through with, like, where'd he go to college?
I'm trying
He
to
went
pull
to
it up.
University
There's
of
not
Portland.
There's not a lot of his.
Portland? Yeah, okay, so it's
Yeah,
Portland
Portland State.
versus-
They're like an awesome
Cortica.
Division III
Nordica?
powder.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
who said that?
Cortica.
There's another name. Fortica. Is that Tom?
Yeah, Cortica.
Yeah, Cortland versus Fortica. What's it
That's-
called? It's something Cup, right?
I just know it as Cortica. It's like a shit show.
Oh, it's Cortica Cup. That's the
Yeah.
name. Yeah. Cortland versus something else. That would be a Cup, right? Ithaca? Yeah. There we
Yeah.
go. Cortland versus Ithaca. That makes sense. The Cortica Cup.
Yeah.
So that
okay.
that story really is not. It
Glad
has
we
nothing
told
to do with
that.
any of this. But I just know that we were going to do a D3 show, and we're going to have Mankind be the guest picker and something.
No, we worked through that
Great
together.
story.
That was
Yeah,
good.
That was a great story. Yeah.
That was good crowdsourcing information.
It was at the Cortica Cup.
now
or
I
the
feel like
Cortica
next
Jug?
year we just have to go.
Yeah, we got to go to the Cortica Cup.
Yeah.
It's a
Hold on a
huge deal,
second.
I
This
guess.
game in 2019 hosted over 45,000 at MetLife.
Yes.
Woo!
Yeah, MetLife.
Cortica's
yeah.
a big
Yeah,
deal.
we were going to do it. And I think they wouldn't let us go into the parking lots at MetLife. That was what happened. So that's how it fell through. But we were going to do it. It's a big fucking deal.
Exciting.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a great story. I know.
Ithaca's on a nice
Well,
run
that's
here,
because
too.
Dave was pumping up D3 football.
Yeah, I was getting pumped myself for a little bit.
I think it's great that football's back in general.
Yeah,
I'm
it
just
is.
happy.
Yeah.
I'm just a happy guy.
40.
Except
That's a
for
lot of
Sunday night.
fucking people.
You know, they did it at MetLife. All right, so wait, what's your guys? I gotta go in a second, but what's your guys' prediction for Bears record?
Could we just quickly do the schedule real quick?
Yeah.
I mean, that's our favorite thing.
Yep.
But before we break down the schedule, let's talk about White Sox Dave's best friends over at 3 Cheat, because I'm so excited they're going to partner with us for football season, help us get through some of this pain and misery.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm not going to be relying on anything for football season other than my own brain for football season to win some money, hopefully. But I will be complementing my football season with 3Chi. I was out with a friend on this weekend, and I gave her a 3Chi cookie. You can get a brownie, you can get cookies, you can get vapes, you can get oil tinctures, little Rice Krispie treats that are delicious. I love Fruity Pebbles. They got the Fruity Pebble version too. And she hit me back today this morning, and she said, I need more 3Chi. Can you direct me to where to get it? I go, all you got to do is go to 3chi.com/redline and use promo code Chicago at checkout. You get 5% off your order. That is a big number. Trust me on that one, and you're going to love it. So I'm reading the text message right now, and she goes...
Not Redline, just 3chi.com.
3chi.com, I'm sorry, 3chi.com. Promo code Chicago, all caps at checkout. And she loves it. So she's talking, like, I gave her the whole scoop, and this was like not a sales thing. It doesn't affect our wallets in any way. I really stand by and endorse the product to the fullest. I love it. It's a perfect way to get a nice, relaxing evening with yourself or with friends or whatever. It's federally legal. You got to be 21 or older to order it, of course. But yeah, it's not some, like, you know, placebo that you're taking. It's a psychoactive drug. You're gonna get a nice body high off it. I love it. I'm gonna go home and take some as soon as we get home, Ed.
It's the industry leader in Delta 8 THC products. Must be 21 to purchase. Again, 3chi.com to shop for Delta 8 vapes, gummies, tinctures, and oils that can be used to make homemade edibles. Use code Chicago at checkout to receive 5% off your order.
Let's get high. Let's get back into it. All right, so opening week, Rams, probably a loss.
Loss, yeah.
All right, then home against the Bengals.
Loss.
Win.
That's a win.
Then
Bengals revenge game against Dalton.
I haven't done this yet, so someone count what I say.
I got you.
All right, Chief's got it.
Okay.
I have not done this yet.
All right, so then week 3 at Cleveland.
Loss.
Week 4, home against the Lions.
Win.
Week 5, Las Vegas.
At Las Vegas?
Yes.
2 hungover
Win.
loss.
Week 6,
Win.
home against the Packers.
Loss.
Fuck. Week 8 at the Bucks.
Oh, I should have said week 6. That's a loss, and it's a bad loss. Week 8 Bucks.
No, 7.
At-
7 Bucks.
7 at Bucks.
At Bucks.
Loss.
Okay.
I don't know why I asked. Like, if
No,
it was
this is
at
important.
home,
That's important.
I'd been like, yeah, we'll beat the Super Bowl
Oh, it's home?
champions.
Oh, we got him at home.
We beat him
Yeah.
last year.
Oh, we beat them up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, week 8, Niners, home game, Halloween.
Loss.
Trey Lance versus Justin Fields, though.
Yes. Probably a loss.
You calling that a loss?
Yeah.
Okay.
9 at Steelers with a dozen trivia contest. Monday Night Football.
Are we doing one there?
There's talk of it.
Jersey
There's also
Jerry
Jeff
wants-
DeLowe says he might be coming to Chicago that weekend.
Oh, Jersey Jerry, Eddie, you'll like this. When I was talking to him, he was like, I got to do the contract negotiation with Dave. He's like, maybe I'll ask for a couple things extra because you always got to ask for more. Like maybe you and I go to Steelers-Bears Monday Night Football Week 9. I was like, dude, like we can go to that. You don't have to put that in your contract. That was going to be his big ask. I was like, don't do that, Jerry. Don't do that. Like, we'll go. So we should go to that game. That'd be a fun game.
Does
to go
this
to.
guy need help with representation?
I
Carl
might
dropped
have
out of
to-
law
I'm-
school a couple times.
I'd
Yeah,
be
I
happy
might-
to put a game plan together for him. Week 10 bye.
Wait, did we give an official Steelers pick?
Lost, but we should all plan on trying to go to that game. That'd be fun to go together.
That's at home?
No, it's at
No,
Steelers.
it's in
at
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Yeah, we're there.
But we're legal in Pittsburgh, so
Great.
10 is a bye into the Ravens at home.
loss. This is a hard schedule.
It's the 31st hardest schedule on the books.
I saw
Or
that
second hardest.
Okay, I was going to say, like, wait, which way do you mean
I
right
didn't
there?
know
Yeah.
how to read that stat. That's why I
We're-
said I thought about it when I read it the first time. But they do have the second hardest schedule.
I saw I think Mike Sando is the guy who does the QB tiers. He said that the Bears have 4 games against tier 1 guys and no games against tier 4 guys.
Oh.
So it's fun.
That's
Real
great.
fun.
At Lions Thanksgiving,
Win.
home versus Arizona Cardinals first week of December.
Win.
At Green Bay mid-December.
Loss. Another bad one.
Week 15, home against the Vikings. Kirk Cousins might be out with COVID.
You know what? I'll give a win right there.
Yeah, win. Give me
a win. Give me a winner right there.
December 26th at Seattle.
Loss.
That's a guaranteed loss.
Oh yeah,
right?
that's 100%
Yeah.
loss.
Home versus the Giants. I think that's a guaranteed win.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's a win, but do we want to win that?
Yeah,
'Cause we
that's
give 'em
exactly
our
No,
it.
pick?
that's why we win.
Yeah, that is why. Yeah,
that's
exactly.
The
Oh,
part,
yeah,
So it'll
yeah.
be
That's the part
the
of the season where
win.
Justin Fields gets us excited and Matt Nagy keeps his job.
You're right. It's a double win
You're right.
because the Giants get screwed and we win.
Right.
It's
But
like
then
hitting
we
a good
lose
drive on the
because-
18th hole after playing like shit all day, and you're like, I got this figured out. I'm coming back strong tomorrow. And like, no, dude,
Yep.
you suck.
Yep. All right.
Last game at Vikings.
I think that's a win because Justin Fields is going to be playing. The Vikings aren't going to be in contention. So what did I get us
Oh
at?
no, Dan.
I don't think you
No.
said. I think you got us at 5-12.
No.
We're definitely under 7.5 wins on the year.
Dan has us at 8 and 9.
No, that might be the Nickelodeon game. We just did this entire podcast, and I talked myself into maybe the Nickelodeon game. God damn it.
Oh, that's terrible.
Well,
Fuck.
people have been asking me, and without like putting any thought into it, I've just been like, I don't know, probably about 7 and 10. I'm
Yeah.
calling about 3 and 14.
If Justin Fields comes in and plays well, they could. The schedule clearly softens up in December, so who knows?
Thanks for coming on, Dan. You got anything coming up you want to let the people back home know about?
No,
Can we talk about the Overs Club bet?
Yeah, Overs Club bet tonight. So this is airing on Thursday. So Overs Club bet tonight. We're opening up the books. Bet the Overs Club under exclusive. You get an Overs Club tie. Anyone who's listening in Tennessee or in Arizona, we should be live in both those states by the time this is released. Multiplier Sunday night. Overs tournament coming up. Dave posted a video about it. It's like the best thing ever. It's basically a tournament all season. You get 1 point if you win an over $25. You get 2 points if it's $50. And at the end, it's top 100 get to go to basically a gambling tournament with me and Dave, where we just sit there and watch games all day, and $1 million cash prize. So that's going to be awesome. And then we'll see everyone September 25th for Notre Dame, Wisconsin, Soldier Field, and we'll stay tuned because we'll be doing a Bears watch party the next day.
I think that's when we just kidnap you. We kidnap
Yeah.
Tom. He never let him leave. Maybe
I'm
we'll
fine
just
with
kidnap
that.
you.
I'm
make
fine
you
with
stay.
that. Just get my kids there too. And that's
Nah,
fine.
I can't. I'm not in the business of kidnapping children.
I
Just
listen.
adults.
No, I was gonna say something. No, I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
No, you can't do that. That's against the rules. You can say it.
No. He's. Never mind.
No, I'll fucking say it. I'll give up my kids having an Amber Alert if they did the Amber Alert for the college football overtime.
And we just said you don't have a relationship with the DCFS, and you say that 10 minutes later.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But I'm saying I'll trade my Amber Alert in. I got 2, right? So I'll
Yeah.
trade one of them in.
Keep the other.
Yeah.
Do you
Which
like
kid
one
gets
more
it?
kid than the other?
No, one doesn't talk yet, so
Okay.
So fuck her.
yeah, she'll get there.
You did say your one kid's a lefty. That is
Yes,
very
my
valuable.
son might be a lefty, which I am very worried about because I do not know how to teach. I won't know how to teach a kid how to do things with their left hand.
Would you send them to camp with White Sox Dave?
Just gonna.
Yes, absolutely.
I swear to God, I brought this up to Ryan the other day.
He's gotta go.
No
And-
crack though. No crack.
No crack
with
jokes?
my son. No,
Not for
no
this year,
smoking
'cause it's-
crack
it's-
with my son.
It takes like 1.5 years to do it. I'm starting another high school baseball team, just one,
Okay.
and we're gonna
No
do
crack,
like a
though.
documentary on like me coaching it and sending them all off to college. I'm gonna
No
go
crack.
recruit them, coach them up, show up
he
to all
won't
the
even
games
say
hung
no
over.
Crack. I'm asking you to say no
least he's
crack.
honest.
And
At
you
least
won't
he's
say
honest.
it.
Yeah, no crack. No crack allowed.
You're smart to leave the door open for yourself to someday maybe smoke crack. That was a great pause, Dave.
It's just
Thanks, boys.
all right. See you
You
guys,
guys
later.
need me or you guys good?
All right, I love you, Dave. That was a great comedic pause there.
It's just one of
The
those.
funniest part about the crack thing is you literally did it all to yourself. That was a private conversation.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like
I've
this
had your
is-
back through the whole thing. I've had your back. I said
Yeah,
that it
this
was a
is
joke.
this is like it was funny, and then Portnoy is like, "Why is Penn emailing me asking you about crack?" And the second I hear Penn's asking about anything, I'm like, "Okay,
They're
joke's
talking.
over."
They're talking
Yeah.
about taking away your options.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
It's brutal.
I mean, that's the
We
last
do the
thing
lie
I want, because
detector.
those options are my fucking ticket out of this hellhole city in 2025.
You'll pass the lie detector. I'm confident in you. I'll be there for you if you need me to.
Good.
I'll come to why I'm missing Pennsylvania to be your support.
You promise? You're on record?
Yes, promise.
All right, good.
All right. Okay.
All
I'll
right.
see you guys.
See you guys.
I always love have Dan on because it's like this is football season's about to start, and when football season's around the corner, I get very horny. I get horny for the action. I get horny for the bets. And when I'm horny, Dave, what do I like?
You just got to pound some Roman.
That's it.
That's it. Simple as that.
It honestly doesn't get easier. Clinically proven way to last longer in bed. Don't be up thinking about the Bears schedule. Get your dick nice and hard. Get ready for some good old-fashioned sex. Use Roman swipes.
Easy as that, yeah. They come in a nice little discreet, unmarked packaging. You can just throw them in your wallet. They're not obnoxious. They're not easily detected by unsuspecting little skis balls like Ed, who's looking to sabotage you at the every move. They're just there for when you need them.
And I honestly think the swipes do something to me as a man. Like they get to my instincts. It's like, ugh, I got a swipe on me now. You just
It's
want
a carnal feeling.
Yeah, it's like, ooh,
I don't know what carnal means, but I feel like I used it right in context.
Dave,
right there.
I can't say yes or no. It just feels right.
Relating to physical, especially sexual needs and activities. I did use it right.
Boom. Perfect. In a sentence. Coming to a spelling bee near you, White Sox Dave moderating. Swipes, easy to use. Just take the swipes out of the packet, swipe it on, let it dry. You're good to go. Go to GetRoman.com/Redline. You can get your first month of swipes for just $5. When you choose a monthly plan, that's GetRoman.com/Redline. First month of swipes, just $5.
That's an unbelievable deal. We're getting towards winter, holiday season.
Yeah.
Can I say this? Mm-hmm. Well, GetRoman.com/Redline. Kind of feel like Chief was let off the hook a little bit too easy right there.
As far as what?
As far as like him like buying into like everything sucks now.
And
I didn't want to derail the conversation, so I let it go. But that's a little disappointing out of you too.
Me?
Well, just out of the show, just like how it went.
You're right.
I thought it was a little disappointing.
Every time I get into a football debate with Chief,
he was like literally banging the drum about how, it's different now. Just because it happened one way doesn't mean, he said he was backing on Nagy.
So, obviously I'm not trying to get into no Bears argument with anybody in this room. I don't. If he wants to come up and come down, I'd almost rather have that and keep it as we go. Because if they fucking start 3-0, then he's back to being positive. But at the same time, he's like, I don't know.
He has the right to change his mind. Don't get me wrong. But
what do you think has changed a change of mind?
I have no idea.
It's the life cycle of a sports fan, I would say.
I have no idea. That's my point. Is nothing happened.
We're getting closer to the start of the season.
That's all I'm saying. It is too, because typically, the Bears don't really count right now, but typically, like I said, there's a life cycle of a sports fan. So, season ends, you're all down because the Bears inevitably sucked. Summer comes, you hear all the stories about who looks great in camp, who looks, Nagy's got his guy finally at quarterback. You think there's hope. Then you get to the season, you look at the schedule, you're like, the Bears can beat most of these. I haven't come close to reaching that. I said 3 wins right there. Like, that wouldn't be a surprise to me. What's their over-under at this year?
7.5, but it's plus money. It was at 6.5, and that got crushed, so they moved it up to 7.5. But it's like, it's not
right. Yeah. So I mean, 5 wins. They're gonna stink. And it sucks, and that's just the way it goes.
Okay, so I think they could get to 8 wins, and you wouldn't be surprised, and I think they could get to 3 wins, and you wouldn't be surprised, and we live in this window of horrible to just overwhelmingly
purgatory.
Mediocre.
Yeah, that's the worst place to be. Like, if the ceiling is 8 wins, and that's about what the ceiling is to anybody with a brain who knows this team, it's 8. Maybe if every single thing goes right, and Fields comes in and he does very well.
Yeah.
And he's like putting up rookie of the year, awesome numbers, and he's got a great rapport with Robinson, and Monty takes a step forward, and the offensive line does all right, and the defense, doesn't look like it's aged too much. 9 wins is like the 1 percentile max this team's going to win, right? So at that point, why not just...
we can't say that. I mean, you can say with I guess with some certainty you can say that it's probably, like, exactly what the high end is.
It's not like hand up, though. Right, but here's the thing: like, there's teams in football where you're like, if there's teams that could theoretically non-zero chance go undefeated. Bears aren't even close to that. They're not even close to 10 wins. Like, if everything goes right. So at that point, to Danny Parkin's, words, why not just fucking stink every single game the entire year, all 17 games? So that's where I'm at as a Bears fan this year. I'm going to be watching for individual performance, like I said. Mm-hmm. Hope Roquan does awesome, goes off. I hope Monty goes for 1,500. Same with A-Rob. And I hope Fields looks like he is the first franchise quarterback in my lifetime. That's all I'm rooting for.
I don't have a strong. Like, I think my strongest opinions on the Bears would be like Matt Nagy's in self-preservation mode. I think Matt Nagy could be a good head coach, but I don't know if it's right now. I think the fact that they've been 8-8 over the last 2 seasons is kind of, or 7-9 and 8-8, or what? They're 28-20 in his time with 12-4 to start, right? There's nothing about this team that's very easy to say definitively. Like, even the Andy Dalton, Justin Fields thing. Like, yeah, everybody's saying they should start Justin Fields, but, like, we won't know what the right answer is until it plays out.
Yep.
So I think that's hard for me to come back to Chief and be like, well, you're flip-flopping. Like, I can't really myself put a stake in the ground on how bad this is going to go. I think the offensive line is atrocious, and I'm expected to be embarrassed when I watch this team play. I'm expecting myself to feel like we're hopeless on offense. Like, when I talk to Tom about the Jets, I feel bad for Tom because Tom's a Jets fan, and they've had so many seasons in a row where, like, it's just futile. There's no reason to even be going out. It's like 3rd and 13, fucking 5 out of 10 drives. It's a joke. I'm expecting and banking on bad infrastructure, easily available excuses for Nagy. Like, I'm expecting the defensive line to be shit, not get any pressure, and then he's going to come back and have all these reasons why, like, well, his scheme's not going to get executed. But as far as the team, like, I don't even know what I want to happen. Because if I knew Nagy was on his fucking last legs with the Bears, I'd want him to lose and get fired. And if I knew Pace was in a way to get out, but, like, there just doesn't seem like anything we really know definitively. Now I'm getting long-winded, but does that make sense, Ed, where I'm like, I'm not really – I'm prepared for a bad season, and then I guess there's a little bit of hope that, like, yeah, well, they win – they go 4-1 through the first 5. They pull off one of those 2 road games.
Yeah, I mean, my feeling towards it, like the word that I would use, I'm kind of apathetic towards it this year.
Yeah.
I just generally am lacking enthusiasm to get excited. I think because of what you just said could be a reason, is you don't really know what you want because you want the kid to do well, but at the same time, I don't want to see anything else from this regime. I just don't. I've seen enough, in my opinion. And I don't think Ryan Pace deserves an 8th, 9th, 10th draft. I don't think.
I'd rather have John Fox get an extra chance than fucking Ryan Pace at this. I mean, I know that's extreme, but
yeah, it's just apathy, man. But we said it. I think best case scenario is in some way, shape, or form we turn into the Texans where we have a stud quarterback, and maybe we're decent in spite of that. But I think and I'm talking a couple years ago, Texans where. Deshaun Watson was really carrying the load. The defense was kind of taking a few steps back. Now they're a dumpster fire. I'm pretty sure they're going to be, and he's not even starting. But I think that's best case scenario if you want the team to be good and if you want a chance to win. But a long-term strategy, why waste year 2 and 3 of Fields with that? I would just much rather kind of figure it out, and it could be rebuilt. I mean, that's the big thing is when a quarterback is in his first few years and you don't have to pay him a huge deal. You can kind of get things right, but, like, that's also kind of hard to get excited about because our money's so tied up in other places, man. There's just – I don't know. I just keep going back to being like, well, how can you – it's a mind fuck for sure. How can you be upset about your team making the playoffs? You guys made it. Like, an extra playoff or not, an extra playoff team or not, you guys made it. You got a chance. Who knows what could happen? You win one, you beat the Saints, you turn it around. But that is the thinking – that people say, I don't know if he got definitively fired. That is the thinking that may have got us, another year, these guys. So we'll see. I mean, I'm going to watch the games and I'm going to root for the players and I guess hope for the worst and hope for the best and expect the worst. But yeah,
That's how I feel, Ed. Took the words out of my mouth.
I feel like Nagy talking about the team at the end of the year is like a guy who fucking hit 4 or 5 legs on a parlay card and is like, well, we got those first 4 legs. Like, dude, that's not a winner. Like, you're still a loser, the playoffs, etc. But some of those games on the schedule that we went through, sincerely eager to get to this point in the schedule because White Sox could be hosting home ALCS World Series games for like the Niners when they're in town for Halloween. I think it's like the 2 weeks before that when the Packers are in town on the 14th. Be fucking wild, man.
Oh, yeah. It sucks how it's going to line up because a potential White Sox-Yankees wouldn't happen until the ALCS, but that's fine. It is what it is, and I'm excited. I'm very excited, Ed.
What about Ed? What do you got, man?
nothing. I mean, I guess we should say, too, there's somewhat of a big announcement today that if you're used to listening to the show the last 2 years, you know we've done a post-game show. We're getting away from that, and we're going to add an extra show during Bears season. So Tuesday afternoons.
2 red lines?
Yes, you will have an extra episode. And they're going to be maybe shorter episodes, but you're going to have Tuesday and Thursday. You're going to have us. And Tuesday is going to be kind of, probably Bears heavy, shooting the shit as well. And, so that's kind of the big thing today, right?
Yep.
That's huge news. I mean, I like it because I think in some ways I like having multiple conversations throughout a week. There's just so many stories. I know, like, historically you come in here and you're like, well, I got shit I want to talk about the Cubs that happened 5 days ago, 6 days ago or whatever. So hopefully it gives us a chance to be a little fresher. And
yeah, we just did it because it sounds like the Bulls and the Hawks are going to be a lot better this year. Obviously the White Sox are in the playoffs, so we're going to have, a Tuesday 45, 50-minute episode for you, and then the standard, Thursday episode. So look out for that.
Dave, what are you fucking laughing at?
I'm just...
Eddie's over here making a big-time announcement, and you're on the Northwestern message boards trying to figure out how he lost by 17 at home to Mel Tucker.
It was 17. Fuck. I'm not laughing at Ed or anything Ed
and
said.
You were pretty down on Michigan State, too.
They weren't good. That's the thing. That's how bad Northwestern was. Michigan State was not like...
No, I mean, even preseason you were bad. You were down.
Yeah, they were a very average team. They'll be a 6-win team. They'll probably go bowling, but, I mean, they weren't good. They shouldn't be beating any Big Ten team by 17 points. But they did. Northwestern, back to the drawing board. Disgusting. But what I was laughing at is just knowing that the White Sox are almost healthy. They're resting up. They're about to unleash a full, all-out assault on baseball come October. And I will be making sure that everybody on the planet who follows Barstool Sports knows about it.
Yeah.
And I've been talking about this for years.
And as you prepare for a big thing like this, Dave, it's no different than preparing for a big date and getting your balls nice and trim.
That's true.
And when you do that, who do you turn to?
Oh, it's none other than Manscaped.
Yeah, Manscaped. The Performance Package 4.0 for White Sox Dave. He's getting ready for October. He wants his nuts and twigs, real fucking, or what is it?
Sticks and nuts?
Berries and twig?
Oh, yeah, that's it. Berries and twigs. Twig and berries?
Twig and berries.
Twig and berries.
Well, why would you have twigs? That's a weird...
I mean, I'm sure a couple of guys have been born with, Tom, our camera guy, says he's got 6 toes.
Multi-penis
Do you
disorder.
remember that?
There's a guy, I think he goes by Two Dick Dude or something like that.
Have you ever seen the picture of him, Ed?
Oh, it was Two Dicks?
Yeah.
I have, actually.
I have too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to not Google that.
You have to. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
It doesn't, It's like when you walk into a locker room and you see junk. Like, obviously, you're going to, sneak a peek. But
21% of our audience is not looking at 2 dicks.
We did this little video today.
Hitting favorite is not...
Yeah, I'll get there.
Yeah, hitting a favorite is fun, but shaving my balls with confidence? The folks at Manscaped have given me that and have my trust when trimming my boys. The recently released Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer is a favorite of mine. It's a 4th-generation product, features cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to the advanced skin-safe technology. That's trademarked, too. That means it's fucking important. You see a little TM in the corner. You know it's good technology. Advanced skin-safe. It also gives you the ability to turn the 4000K. So is that 4 million LED? It's a lot of LED. The spotlight's on when you need it. You got to get in the gooch, some of those cracks, crevices, and it's waterproof. So no excuses not to keep yourself clean. It's a Performance Package 4.0, Dave. You've had great results with it.
Oh, yeah. The best results. I feel aerodynamic after a nice use of a Manscaped, any product of theirs.
So if you're sweating, you're feeling the heat after a big bet, fixes sweat and the stink, give her something nice to play with. The Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant. For you, before you send it, Crop Reviver Ball Toner when you need a boost mid-bet. Take care of your balls. 20% off free shipping with the code REDLINE at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code REDLINE at manscaped.com. For a clean Trinity and beyond, your space balls will thank you.
Beautiful.
My balls thank me every single day they wake up, Ed.
Do they?
Yeah, every single day.
It's a healthy relationship.
Yeah, I got a great relationship with my nuts.
I'm happy to hear that.
Well, there was a time you had some cheese.
Yeah, I mean,
You haven't always been.
Nobody's always been there though. It's like one of those. It's like picking your nose. Everybody does it, but it's like for some reason frowned upon.
Well, I think it's about come on, man. When you picking your nose like that aggressively in public,
of course, but it's like sneezing.
Yeah,
everybody does it.
Right.
So, but everybody has experience from under cheese from here and there. But if you just well, I mean, I don't know. It's funny, Ed. You probably got some right now. Chief does. I use
Manscaped, you dumbass.
Yeah, but now I use Manscaped. Fermented cheese is eliminated.
I used the cubes when I was in the cubes. It would just bake. You get in there at 6, 7 a.m. with a cup of coffee. Maybe you got to do some emails and a spreadsheet. Next thing you know, it's 6 p.m. and you're just moving around in Banana Republic slacks and the balls are just.
Did you know White Sox Dave OD'd on coffee once?
That's true.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No. What does that even mean?
So, that's a little sneak behind the curtain for all the crack people out there. He did OD on coffee.
I mean,
the cocoa plant?
I don't know what. All right, so the first job out of college, I'm 23-ish years old, and a very small company. And my boss and I would work one-on-one with each other, and she was great. I still stay in touch with her, all that. But
name?
I'm not gonna say names, but I
love saying names.
Would get to work every morning before she would, and I would just drink as much coffee as I possibly could. I'm talking pots of it, just out of sheer boredom because the job was that boring. So one time I got through, I was 2 pots of coffee, and I thought I was having a stroke, and I told her, I'm like, hey, I think something's wrong with me. You need to take me to the loss of vision, completely nauseous. I couldn't stand up straight. It was fucked up, and I started freaking out. She's like, I think you're gonna be fine. Just go downstairs and go for a walk outside for a little bit. And I ended up being fine, but it was kind of scary.
Yeah, dude. Coffee's on the banned substance list for the NCAA.
If you drink a certain amount of it,
or it's
really?
caffeine amounts. I should say coffee, but
if you drink 5 monsters back to back to back to back,
and then you took a piss test,
you'd be considered performance enhancing and get popped by the NCAA.
I think it's no dose. If you take you'd be at a truck stop or something in college, or maybe you still do it now, Ed. Maybe you're going up to Door County with the boys and you're still. Do you take no dose?
Door County.
No, did I say the wrong one?
Door County's up by Door County's Green
way
Bay,
too
right?
Classy.
Door County's a long drive too.
Yeah, I think that's very nice too, right?
I got a buddy with a
Dells
cottage
isn't?
up there. I know.
Are you a water park snob now?
I love the Dells.
Dells is fun.
It's very fun.
I haven't been there since I was
you could
17.
fucking mini golf for 3 days straight.
Yeah.
Get the stroke down. Yeah. What else, boys? I mean, obviously.
Cubs have kind of put it together. It's weird.
7-1 in September. And the Reds are doing everything they can to lose, which is kind of funny.
Yeah,
they've had a chance to run away with it. The Padres has been brutal. Darvish has been brutal. So the funny thing with the Cubs is they never hit, a lot of the times with Theo, because these guys would never get a chance. The poster boy to me in Major League Baseball, Justin Turner, coming out of nowhere and being awesome. Justin Turner was on the fucking Mets as a utility infielder. Mm-hmm. And he's won a World Series with the Dodgers, hits in the middle of their lineup, is considered one of the fearsome National League cornerbacks.
He's pushing for MVP votes right now.
It just fucks people up, man.
Yeah.
He's just a dog.
how do the Dodgers get Justin Turner? And you're like, fuck those.
It always
cocksuckers.
happens
Yeah.
to fucking those teams. How
Chris
do they
Taylor's
do it?
another one. And go down
Great
the list,
player.
dude. They had that one Tolleson guy in the playoffs for a little bit who was like, yo, this guy is like literally just a career minor leaguer and turned out to be awesome. My point is the Cubs, now that they're in this rebuild, like I'm looking at Wisdom and Schwindel. I'm like, hey, I like these stories. 29-year-old guys that have been log jammed behind fucking Hall of Fame first basemen in their early parts of their career. And so now they're finding it. Hey, and no joke, Frank Schwindel had a 1,600 OPS in August and was the National League Player of the Month.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Or was that the week? I can't remember.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's same shit.
Rookie.
But
Month.
he
Was it Rookie of the Month or Player?
Rookie of the month.
they
5
both
home
look
runs.
like they belong, and that it's not just like flash in the pan shit. Especially Wisdom. Like Wisdom murders the ball. I know he strikes out a lot, like a fuck ton, but
He's graded out top 5 third baseman defensively since he's got called up.
there you go. I mean, he was pacing for like 50 bombs this year over the course of a full season. It's unbelievable.
The Rockies won 21 of 22 games to finish the 2007 season.
Which was an awesome fucking run. Awesome, unbelievable run.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying, I watched the game. Like the game 2 against the Reds. You're like, ooh, we gonna sweep? Ooh. Are we gonna get excited here? I think Chris Bryant's back in town this weekend. He might be joining us next week on the show.
Be sick.
Is it weird? Not weird, but I am out of the transition of I'm mad at the Cubs and you fucking blew it and all this stuff, and now I'm back to like, hey, tickets are cheap. Go watch a game. They could win tonight.
Like, I was at the Sox game a couple Saturdays ago, and I got season tickets, so it doesn't matter to me. But, I mean, tickets are fucking expensive now, and I actually have to sit in my season ticket seats. It was nice being able to go to a game, spend $7, sit behind the dugout, eat a couple brats, spend $30 to and from.
That was like your social club.
It was fun. I would do that. Like I'd go to games without even touching a sip of alcohol, just like to get out of the apartment on Friday night, Wednesday night, whatever night of the week it was. You can't do that anymore. So you do have that going for you.
Whatever.
Rather have bad, good team to follow, but
I went last Thursday. It was very peaceful.
so you've heard the death rattle.
You enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Well, you went to the.
It was
19-
also my first time in the 1914.
Oh,
club.
cool. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what?
So what's
I didn't
interesting,
know. Damn it. What?
I had not realized that there's such a push by them to get you out of there to go to your seats because they're all behind home plate. So it's a bad look if.
Oh yeah,
you know
yeah,
what
yeah.
I mean? So that's like, it's almost like a sense of urgency. Like if they could, they'd pull a fire alarm to get you out of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've been. It was for what they could have done. They did a great job with it.
Yeah.
And I know like this is a review 3 years late, 4 years late. How late am I?
Whatever.
But it was very nice.
Yeah, you come in down those stairs and like the bar, they'll make you anything you ask.
Yeah, it was very nice.
It does impede your ability to go sit in regular seats afterwards.
Oh, the cushion on the seat's nice.
Exactly.
Nice
And then
little
the guys
touch
just,
there.
there are literally people coming up like, take a hot dog. They're not even asking if you want beers or peanuts or whatever. They're like,
They
hey,
like-
take everything you want.
They like demand you have a beer, pretty much.
It's a good vibe. So Access 1914, something to look forward to. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of winding down with the Cubs, and it's actually nice. I've had a chance to get more into the 16-inch league on Tuesday nights because it's like, well, I mean, sure, I'll put the game on the radio, but like the days of sitting there live tweeting it and doing the fucking post game shows into the playoff run and all that stuff. It's just like a weird transition with the Cubs. Where like, I would like to see him get back, and I think it's in the cards. But in the time being, I'll enjoy White Sox Dave's his run and attention. It's your turn, Dave.
No, he won't.
So I do actually cheer. Like, there's this weird thing where I want the White Sox to win, but like I do want you to struggle more.
Yeah, that's fair. That's how it should be.
I'm like, okay, I want Sox fans to be happy. I
absolutely.
like Sox fans. Like
You're from, yeah.
I'm totally. It's your time for White Sox fans to like be on top of Major League Baseball, the Yankees rivalry. Like, let's get some shit going with the White Sox.
Honestly, and Yankees fans will never in a billion years, if all the guns on earth are held to their heads, would admit it, but it is turning into a rivalry. It's gotten to the point where all like, and I do this as a subtle fuck you, but every time that the Yankees lose, I'll go and like the final tweet they have, like final Yankees 4, Rays 8 or whatever. And I know people can see that. It's like, oh, White Sox, they've liked this tweet.
Yeah.
And I'll just get fucking 10 Yankees fans coming at me right after it. It's one of my favorite things on earth to do right now. But
I don't have a dog in the fight. But
if you go to a Yankees fan tweet, or not a Yankees fan, the Yankees tweets after they lose, you see dozens of White Sox fan in there, like going at them.
yeah, and the video that Carabas posts every time is unbelievable. With the Poppy voiceover,
Yeah.
the Yankees lose.
The Yankees.
Yeah.
And it's like dubbed over a bunch of like famous shit. It's very good.
Well, Dave, when the time comes, don't waste your moment.
Oh, I'm not. I got the hamster wheels is spinning. I want the Yankees so fucking bad. Cole's hurt, so they might be completely fucked. But and more than likely not going to happen. But if the White Sox and Yankees play, like I will be biblically getting into all Yankees fans' heads.
And Ed, who will
And
you
it
be
won't
cheering
necessarily
for?
be a-
Because
I don't think he'd care.
no, I'm interested who Ed's going to be cheering for. Because in one corner you have White Sox, Dave.
You got the
loyal fucking colleague and partner and in a running mate to some electric content for you at home.
he's win-win, so he doesn't.
in the
give a
other
shit.
in the other corner, Marty Mush. You got the big Travis documentary coming out.
Yeah.
This is a guy you're doing some content with.
Go watch it, YouTube. I like I said, I don't care. I mean, Dave cares. Like, that's not a shot at Marty, but Dave cares more than just about everyone about his team. So, I mean, that'll be interesting. And then just them going at each other. That's all I want. I just want the action.
You'll get action.
You know?
You'll get action.
It's like you see two big heavyweights hopping in there, and you don't really have a dog in the fight. You just hope both of them get their head knocked off.
Like the
Figuratively.
simultaneous, like haymaker punch to the face where they're both knocked out.
Yeah.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots. The head spring at the
Correct.
same time.
Great game.
I left my phone in the freezer. It's the last thing I want to tell you guys. I don't know if you have any
I saw that.
embarrassing
What-
phone.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
In a is it one of the pole freezers or like the upper freezer?
It's the left
That,
door.
yeah,
so
it was
it's-
like, yeah.
Yeah. So I went out in Wrigley on Labor Day and just went out and was like at 11 a.m. and then was out all day and then was watching Ted Lasso and just got into the liquor cabinet a little bit. There's this little compartment in my freezer where I keep this contraption, and it's like for ice cream, so to say. We'll say it like it's like a little,
I think I know what you're talking about.
and so it was just
They got
like
a flap on it?
yeah, it's got a flap,
Yeah.
and like it's a little cubby
Yeah.
hole where you could put stuff in it,
Yeah.
and
What's the point of that?
I don't know. Who needs discretion when you're putting stuff in the freezer? Like,
Yeah,
why do I
I
have
don't.
a hiding spot for this?
Oh, and then sorry, that's crazy. But I do want to talk about the Titanic inflatable thing.
I couldn't believe it.
I apologize. I did not read your blog, so it's almost better that I want to hear your take now. But it was
Roscoe Burger Fest. Come and get a burger at Roscoe Village Fest or Burger Fest. It's in a street on the north side of Chicago, by Wrigley, Belmont, between Damon and Western, and it's burger places around Chicago, and it's a very family populated area. There's a lot of kids and all this shit, and elementary schools and stuff. So they do the fest like. It's not like going to Old Town Art Fair where, like, where's the bounce house? Or, like, the fucking bounce house is in the suburbs, dude. Like, we're serving sangria here.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. The Roscoe Village Fest, like, they got, face painting, kids walking around. And so down one of the side streets, they have all these, they got, like, inflatable shit. I think there was, like, a petting zoo. And in the farthest down the street, they had a giant bounce house slide that was shaped like the Titanic.
I got it pulled up now.
Sinking, like mid-sink.
Yeah.
So it's tilted up in the air, and it's a slide, and you slide down from the back of Titanic down the hole, and then they
Like
have that
how
with
all
the
these
water.
people lost their lives.
Exactly.
In the actual tragedy of the Titanic sinking.
Yeah, over 2,000 people died in that.
too soon.
I mean, I think it's absolutely hilarious. I think I love that it's a middle finger to the cancel culture because that's a funny joke.
I don't even think it's a joke. I just think like they're looking for historic pieces. They're like, oh, what's kind of tilted? Fuck the Tower of Pisa.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's just use the Titanic.
Yeah, the pyramids, like that's not flashy enough for us.
And also, it's not too soon.
All right, I'm reading your blog now. Because if you wouldn't have said this, I would have criticized you on it. Rose could have fucking let Jack on that piece of fucking board. The door.
Hey, 100%.
Like, fuck you, you dumb bitch. And not only that, like, she went and had fucking kids and fell out of love with them, and then she's, like, still in love with them, so she's playing fuck Rose.
Show some respect.
How am I? And then she throws that fucking heart of the ocean into the ocean?
She went through a lot.
You cunt.
Dave.
You know, a lot of people in her generation, though, had to go through that where you lost a loved one early and you still had to bounce back and live a life.
Yeah.
You know, yellow fever was tough.
Dave.
Was it the Spanish flu, I think?
She had
Did
money.
I get that wrong? Spanish flu?
Spanish flu was the 20s, right?
Yeah. Killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it threw a lot of inheritances into Astor from Chicago, Astor Place, like the fucking big hitter. He perished in the
Really?
Titanic. Were you a bounce house guy as a kid? Did you like, because I know you like block parties.
They
but
didn't
like
have the slides when we were kids, I feel. That was not really a thing, right?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think they had
it was
the
more castle based.
Yeah, and it was more jump based. Like it wasn't like, hey, climb up this big like, dude, I've been to one because these are like things that, like Jump Zone. I think my nephew had a birthday there a couple years ago, and they have these huge elaborate things, and these kids go up there like it's high, dude. It's stories high. So they didn't really have those, but yeah, I liked a good traditional bounce house.
Yeah.
You had to
Bounce
be careful.
house is all right.
Yeah, you don't chip someone's teeth jumping into them, you know.
Because a whiny kid could throw off the bounce house vibes. Like you'd be having fun, rough house, and then all of a sudden it's like, yo, Timmy's in here. Everybody fucking.
Oh, that was the worst. You got the fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And he's guarding the door.
Yeah,
You just can't get out.
There's just so at the Warrenville,
You know what
like
I mean,
4th
though?
of July.
You know what I'm saying? You're guarding the fucking door. You're just trying your best, and you got a bloody nose. And when those things tipped, you've never felt like you were gonna die more.
Yeah, it's a
than when
scary
those
feeling.
things tipped.
The person in charge of that is 16 years old, is driving a white conversion van with no windows on the back. Thing just comes out all wrinkled up in one package.
I've heard it's a great business to get into.
That and tents.
Yes,
Tent rental is.
I heard that as well.
fucking
That guy
clean up on tents.
I've heard that too.
Because it's all I shouldn't say all. A lot of it's or I shouldn't say self-assembly. The assembly's easy. The materials hardly depreciate. You could buy a tent. You had that tent 25 years later.
Yeah.
And the price doesn't go down to use it.
I met a guy with Dante at Uproar when Uproar opened last fall, about a year ago, who was selling tents in the pandemic and cleaning the fuck up because everybody had to do outdoor dining.
Yeah, that and propane stocks.
Yep.
Oh, good luck getting a tank of propane around this town.
Tough.
Hard to do right now?
3 or 4 gas stations a pop.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you go out for propane, it's like, sorry, we're out. Sorry, we're out.
We, I want to say this.
Brought the tank of propane into the 7-Eleven once, and the guy like,
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
almost
I did that.
get out. Like, dude,
Very
sorry.
first propane
I didn't know. I was
run
trying to
I
return
did the
it.
same thing. You're supposed to leave it outside. It's like
yeah.
against the law.
Oh, get out. Sorry, bro.
So they call it it's the street dance in Warrenville. It's like their 4th of July summer festival. And they had the American Gladiator things where you're on.
Oh, I love those.
And you got the Q-tip looking punching things, and you hold it with 2 hands. You know what I'm talking about? And I would have probably been, I'm guessing 12 to 14 years old, probably more like 12. And I made my brother do it with me, and I knocked him out. Legit.
Really?
I wound up like I was chopping a tree down, Ed.
Those aren't.
Oh no,
Light either.
they are
They're
not.
heavy.
He would have been 7 or 8 years old because he's like almost 5 years younger than me. And my dad thought my dad was gonna kill me, but like they just let us up there, didn't sign no waivers or nothing, and I literally wound up and swung for the side of his temple as hard as I possibly could and hit him, and he was out cold.
I think Smitty did one of those, right?
Remember when we did the fucking ball thing at the Windy City Thunderbolts game? I'll never do that again.
Still concussed.
I'll never do that again.
Honestly, I walked away like permanent impairment.
Yes.
Because they put you in those balls at minor league games and you sprint into each other.
Yeah.
And so they're like,
It
hey,
doesn't
we got
look like
some
it would hurt.
activities. You know, hit a
Yeah.
golf ball in the middle of the 5th inning. You know,
Yeah.
run the bases in the 6th. You know, just like regular shit.
Yeah.
And they had Dave and I put on the costumes, sprint into each other. And I got Dave the first time. I don't think Dave was ready for it. And then I got cocky. The second one, Dave fucking blew me up. And then the third one, we literally killed each other. We should repost the video. It's hilarious.
It hurt so bad. I thought I was gonna puke at it.
That might be the most mutual respect he and I ever had for each other. When we got done with that afterwards, it was like we just sat down and had a beer. He was like, I'm fucked up, man.
I was seeing stars. I was like nauseous. The video won't do justice how much, like how dazed I was. We both were.
They had offered to do that for us at the Dogs game like a year later.
Abso-fucking-lutely
and you guys
not.
are like, no.
Yeah, and that was at a time, Ed, when we said yes to anything.
Yeah.
Right.
We're like, yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, that's a great idea. What do you guys? We'll go shoot in front of the green. What do you guys need from us? And the last request. Ooh, and this would be good for the 8th inning. We're
Nope.
like, yeah, done.
Nope.
We're out.
Nope. I'll never do that again.
And then while we're on top, I'll just direct people, go look at the Jenny Finch Chicago Bandits video.
That was a different one.
I know, it's a different video. But while we're on the topic of you and I doing video content before we even worked for Barstool, of going to these like stupid local, I shouldn't say stupid local.
No,
because the Windy City Thunderbolts, it was silly that we tried out for the team and then followed that up with
it was fun. But I'll never do those fucking
he
things
did a
again.
Mr. Freeze race against one of the girls on the softball team.
And she almost nosed me out. She could fucking run like a goddamn thoroughbred.
You lost.
No, I didn't. I won.
You fucking lost, Dave.
You can look at the tape.
Go
watch it.
Last week of us doing one show, and then we're going to pivot to 2. That's awesome.
Yeah, just for bear season.
Yeah. I'm not. Because for Bears, because we're going to have other stuff to talk about, and there's going to be a lot of hungry people at the table. We got to feed some else. That doesn't make sense.
It's all right.
Anything else?
I think the analogy was appropriate. I got nothing. White Sox coasting the next couple of weeks. Get the guys healthy. That's it.
There we go.
Everybody, I mean, they're. I'm just gonna go out and say it. It's all Phantom DL shit. They're all fine.
Go watch the Travis documentary that's out on Wednesday night. Go subscribe to Barstool Chicago on YouTube. Subscribe to this podcast. Until then, all gas.
No breaks.
DJ, play that shit.